Alright, so I have arguably the most modded controller in all of Smash. So I thought I'd share my knowledge with you guys. Everything from safely disassembling it and reassembling and various mods and hacks, things you can do with a controller that are, you know, vaguely legal in competitive Smash Bros. Listen, I didn't find specific rules on it, so until then, here's what you can do and get away with. The first thing you're gonna need is a proper screwdriver, okay? And for a proper screwdriver you need, you know, glass and the ingredients. Alright, so you want it to be like... what? Oh, that's a bit much maybe. And maybe a little more. There you go. Now it's perfect. Now it's ready to serve to any female guest you have over. I'll take this one though. Screwdriver is also the best thing to, you know, build out your guests on, cause you can refill it with vodka when she's in the bathroom, you know. The taste pretty much tastes the same because of, you know, 100%. So I got a brand new one to show you, you know, a little light unboxing of it and such, and how they work and how this compares to the other two kinds. There are three kinds of Gamecube controllers. There's this one, the latest one. There's the white one, and there's the original one from release 2000 something. And I know what you're thinking, it's an unboxing video. I see you eyeballing my piece. You know, but it's too predictable. I can't use this for every single video. Alright, let's just get it out of here, right. And here's the instruction manual, you know, if it's... Sometimes these get damaged during shipping, you know. Alright, so let's see what you got here. Alright, so this is the new controller. You probably know all the differences. It's got a symbol, the texture's different, the buttons are pretty much just the 2000 version. In my opinion, the shittest one is the white one, because the cord is... The one on this thing is a meter more than the original ones, and the white ones is even another meter. So why going to local events if you aren't even gonna sit in the same room and play as your opponent? Fucking... But let's get to the disassembling. And also the white controllers, their sticks are very stiff, and I guess it's just a preference thing, but I fucking hate it. This feels more or less like the 2000 versions. Then again, there's no brand new versions from 2000 to compare. Fucking use the shit. Opening this thing. If you probably already realized that the screws on this thing is like it's a three-pointed one, so it's some kind of fuck you crossbreed between, you know, the regular flat ones and the crisscross ones. And a three-way screwdriver just simply doesn't exist. But you can get a three-way with a screwdriver, alright? So what you gotta do is go to Clas Ohlson and buy one of these. You probably have one of these somewhere in your house already, but the two of these work fine on you opening this thing. The two you want are the two smallest ones. The smallest flat ones. The bigger one is for opening, you know, the outside screws, and the smaller one is perfect for opening the screws that keep the L and R button in place. And yeah, using a flat-headed one will definitely wear them down, but fucking this thing is like 50 kronar at Clas Ohlson, so fuck it, just buy more of them. So then you just get to work, you know. And you want to have a place to put all the screws, you know. So I don't know, maybe grab some rape tape, or date tape, and you just put them in there, you know. Alright, there we go. And then you just carefully lift it up. And as you can tell on this thing, that L and R are stuck to the back side of it. And you know, obviously all the white one and these new ones and the old ones all share the same Ute form, I don't know. So you can swap them around for your preference of color. Here's where you gotta be careful, because on a lot of these new ones, this part it's not attached to the rest of the controller. On the older ones, they always were, but this is just another way that Nintendo shipped out their customers. Also, this plastic is definitely a lower quality than the original. So on the older ones, you can just lift it up with this thing, but that's gonna jank it off the whole thing. So stop removing so remove this C button. Just put it with the rest of the rape cup. And there we go. So here you have everything that's replaceable on this thing. Is this mat for buttons. When this gets old, it will lose its buoyancy or its It's, I don't know, reflective backness thing, so the buttons go up slower. You can definitely gain something by removing this, or replacing this. And also, you see the height on this. If you have a hard time short jumping, you can take a knife and just, you know, make this thing, you cut it off a bit, you know. Cut off a few centimeters. That way one of your jump buttons is gonna be guaranteed short jump. At least it's gonna be... and here we have the analog stick. This gets super dirty, so, you know, clean them. If you have the Generation 1 controllers, you know what I'm gonna call the older ones. I don't know if it's visible, but these things had ridges. I can kind of tell what... Yeah, here you see the ridges on the thing. If you cut it right at the ridge here, it's gonna be a perfect short jump button for the button you wanna use it for. And here you have the down smash button if you play Peach. And the joystick on the nunchuck thing is the same indentation or just form as this thing. And for this you're gonna want to use the small, to open this is the same kind of freeway bullshit. So you're gonna want the absolute smallest one. I wasn't able to get it open because this thing is hella deep. So if you can get one of these open, you can replace this thing with this thing. It's small. It's a bit smaller. It has way better grip, extraordinary grip actually. So yeah, definitely recommend it. And also you can of course change places with these two. So if you want to try to have it like this instead, that works too. If you want to have like a way smaller C-stick and a big ass, switch around, see what if you find that easier to use, or maybe if you're a Peach or Morph player, you can have double nipples, you know, double nips for them smash attacks. Even if your opponent looks at your controller, he's not gonna know what you're doing, you know. And then we have here the rest of the parts. There's the mat for the taunt button or the D-pad. It doesn't have any markings on it, so you can put it in however you want when you reassemble it, so that doesn't really matter. There's the mat for the start button. It's removable. Don't lose the start button, because that's a bitch to find if it rolls away on the floor. And here's all the buttons. So if you want to custom repaint your like buttons separately, just take them out, respray them from here, you know. It's way easier. And also for the rest of the controller too, obviously, if you want this to be a color. And if you're having trouble putting these back in their sockets, you probably didn't have one of these as a child. So just put that back in any order and then slap it on there. All the mats are has to be very dark black spots up. I don't know if that's hard to remember. Anyway, and also it's kind of easy to just put this on right away from here. Alright, so for the LNR button, if you want to replace this, because the spring on the old buttons usually are worn down. So these have two screws each, and these are smaller than the outside screws, so you want the smaller screw missile. Oh, and also, these things, you use them for light shields. They are to these things here. You see, they slide up and down for light shielding. If you want to permanently get rid of your light shield, just either cut this off, that's a dumber idea, or just break off this, and you won't ever have to worry about light shielding again. The advantage of not having a light shield is it's way easier to wave dash and power shield, but on the other hand you have to kind of get used to another way of L cancelling, because usually you can L cancel by just tapping it, like this, light shielding in this way, you know, just tapping it. So if you remove the light shield, you're gonna have to full press to L cancel. If you're more of a useful person, you remove the light shield on one of them and use that one for power shielding and wave dashing, and then you keep it on the other side and use that side for L cancelling. Remove this thing. Here, this thing is a bit tricky. You push it down and then slide it up. So here's what you can do, is either you can get somewhere by a harder wound feather. If the feather is harder, it's going to be harder to click this thing. And you're going to need to use less force. I don't know, it's also a preference thing, because it could be easier to light shield or L cancel if you have a harder spring. So fuck around with that a bit, right? And also here's the thing that I probably think is completely non-legal in tournaments. It's removing the spring entirely. If you remove the spring entirely, not only do you get rid of the light shield, obviously, because it's always down, but your power shielding and the wave dashing is going to be extraordinarily faster this way. It's definitely something you have to get used to though, because it feels hella weird if you're just switching it to this, but it's a super great advantage. Because instead of having to do this to hard shield, you can just... You see, this is probably faster. Oops. Stop it. This is probably faster than going with this. You see? Do you see it? I tried to get used to playing without the feather, but it just wasn't me. I was gonna wait to use to... The pins are supposed to be towards you. There we go. Now it's back to the thing. And now I'll retake this out, cause... Yeah, that's what happens. Fucking hell. The biggest problem with these new shaped up controllers is that the L and R buttons get, you know, they get stuck. It's due to a manufacturing error that the hole they're in is too tight, you know. And that's a problem I'm kind of used to, if you know what I mean. What I've done is carve out the hole so it's way bigger on the side that I use this side for everything. Except some things. So you see, this side is kind of carved out and this side is solid. So this shit gets stuck all the time when you're pressing it hard or frantically doing a fight, and it's... Some are worse than others. Fixing this is not that hard. It do take a little work though. Just take some whatever knife and start carving this. You can't really go wrong the bigger you make it. You can't make it too big. So just go fucking nuts. Maybe it's easy with a lighter to just melt it off. See what works. But this definitely... Carving this backside out definitely helps a whole bunch. And I just grabbed one of my older controllers. This can get super disgusting, okay? So fucking clean that shit, it's revolting. This is what a brand new looks like. It's got ridges. This is what a pro player's controller looks like. This was my old one. I repaired it a lot before I did the fix that I have now. But we can fuck this. Yeah, there we go. Now the reason it's extra disgusting is because I use super glue a fuck bunch of times. People have asked me how I got my control stick to be like this. It's super hard. It's kind of rock solid and it's super perfect grip. It's super amazing. And as a result, I kind of have my thumb kind of has the texture of a you know, a big toe. My thumb is a fucking diamond, you know. Girls appreciate it. So how I fixed my control stick was, I got the thing off, and then I took some fleece. This is some kind of like felt or cloth, and I super glued it over it. I'll redo it on this one. So just take some super glue. Don't be stingy on it. Just go all over it. And now I didn't measure this thing out, but just push it over. Be careful to push too hard, cause the super glue is gonna seep through the cloth. But I still, now it's super soft instead of super loose. So what I did after that was, I put a big super glue blob in the middle, one on top, one on bottom, and on each of the sides. That way they get super hard, you know. If you want an extra indentation, it's super easy to find them with your thumb too, so you can add extra layers to make each bulb stick out. So you can really feel where the sides are. It's easier for dash dancing, or maybe put extra blobs in the corners to make it easier to wave on the wave dash. I don't fucking know. Oh. Yeah. Test it out. See what works for you. But it's already oh. Or you know, you can just super glue that shit straight to your finger. Yeah, and now you got skin on it too, so that's gonna be extra friction. This is a solution for if you're like me and you want your cord to be shorter. Just tape that shit. And this, I don't know, you wanna be able, when everyone getting the new, you know, black controller, everyone has a black plug-in port. I just wanted to make mine a little more recognizable, you know. You can do whatever, go fuck with it. Alright, so the reassembling, it's not that hard. Start with the L and R button. Put this on this. And then that. And like we said before, you wanna have the pigs towards you. And derp. And then you just jam that shit in there and make sure this. And give it a few one of those to make sure it's on right. Putting this back. And yes, you know, oh. Damn it. The screws is... If you can't see the difference between the big and the small ones, one of them isn't the other one's color. Start by reassembling the parts, or putting the sticks back together. These can sometimes be a bit... Where's my yellow thing? If you find that you lose a part or two, the floor is usually a good place to look. I found the nipple though, the yellow nip. Because it's from Asia. Alright, so there we go. And this part is definitely gonna be easier if you have all the mats on the... This part is this side. Also, I'm holding them in so they don't fall out. Don't hold it this way, because you're gonna lose buttons. So, you lower it over. What you got is, you got this hole and this hole. And they're gonna go over this screw hole and that screw hole, so you know it ends up in the right place. Just lower it carefully over. Never use any violence when dealing with electronics. But sometimes you fucking want to. There we go. And this is always used to be a little loose, you know. Just add it in there. Also, and this thing, make sure that it's in... It goes around that thing, or else you're gonna have problems. Also, an easy thing to forget is to turn this and this up. So they go in the glory here, in those things. Oh, that's gonna be a problem too. And then of course the C button, this could be a little fucking annoying, but you know. Do it till it works, there we go, and now it's in there. And then you just carefully lower this shit back on like Darth Vader's helmet. Here we go. And before you start screwing, make sure it's, you know, it's good. And then you just screw the whole thing back the fuck up, you know, you probably know how to screw back screws at this point. Actually, I realized just now that the smaller missile is actually easier in all of screws. So just fuck this one straight up. Just go with the smallest one. Fucking righty tighty, lefty loosey, you screw it. If you want it tight, don't do what's right. And if you want it loose, I don't know, ask your mom, she's probably got a few lonely friends.